Alright guys, so we're going to start our session by looking at the Cambridge International Exams for Checkpoint, and we're going to look at the 2014 edition. We're going to try to answer some of the questions. This series we're going to be doing a lot of questions, and we're going to try to answer as many questions as we can so that to get you guys prepared for your Cambridge exams for those who are taking it. Alright, so I am going to get my all pens started. I'm going to use blue. Alright, so basically this is the question paper, and this is the first question. So right here we see it says the giant panda lives in China. The diagram shows a simple food web involving a panda. Okay, so we have our keyword right here, food web. So a food web, as we know, is a combination of two or more food chains rather that produces a food web, and a food web have different trophic levels. So different organisms will play different role within a food web. All right. Now the first question says, name one producer in the food web. Name one producer in the food web. We know that in a food web, it always starts with a producer at the bottom. So the first trophic level at the bottom is always the producer. Now in this particular food web, we have two producers. Okay, we have a bamboo plant and we have water plants. So we can choose one because it says name one. So it can either be water plants right here, or we can put bamboo plants. Okay, so question number 2 says, name one primary consumer in the food web. So basically here, for this particular food chain right here, okay, so when we have the producer, the next trophic level is the consumer, and it's always the primary consumer. So for this particular food web, the primary consumer, we have snails. Alright, and then here it says, use the information in the food web to explain why a panda is described as an omnivore. That's the keyword, omnivore. So, omnivore, what does an omnivore mean? An omnivore means this is a consumer, or this is an organism that can eat both plants and animals. Okay, can eat both plants and animals. And if you look at the food web, you look at the panda right here, the giant panda, you know, the giant panda can eat a bamboo plant, of course that's a plant, and it can eat a fish, which is considered an animal. Okay? Then, D, what do the arrows in the food web show? So let's look at the food webs. These are the arrows right here. What do they show? They show the flow of energy. That is what the arrows represent. And the last section for this particular question, E, many of the bamboo forests in China are being cut down. This is causing the panda population to decrease. Suggest why. Of course, we know that when you cut down bamboo forest, the pandas are losing their habitat, so they would lose their habitat. Okay. All right. Question number 2. This list shows properties that different materials have. Write down the letter of the property that answers each of these questions. So we have the different properties right here from A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Now the first part of this question, A, which two properties from the list make aluminum suitable for cooking pans? So we have to remember that at our homes, our cooking pans, our frying pans are mostly made out of aluminum. And which properties actually make it suitable for cooking pan? So if we look at the list, we can see here that this one, aluminum is a very good conductor of heat, E. And then we look down again, we see that it has a very high melting point. That is why you can put it on the fire for a very long time and it's not going to melt. So it has a very high melting point. Those are the properties of aluminum. Now the B part of the question says, which property from the list explains why a lot of oxygen gas can be pumped into a very small container? So it's just like if you are having your bicycle and you have to put some air into your bicycle wheels, okay, or into your car wheels, your car tires, okay. So this is simply because oxygen can be compressed. That is B. If oxygen cannot be compressed, there is no way you can put so much air into your tires. So we have to remember that, okay? And then the C part says, which property from the list explains why plastic makes a good material for the handle of a kettle? All our kettles, the handles are made out of plastic. Why is that? Because if we look at our list right here, we have magnetic, we have very high melting point, we have very low melting point, poor conductor of heat. Okay, we have our answer right here. Plastic is a very poor conductor of heat. Okay, so that is it. That is it. All right. Now we go to D. D says, which property from the list explains why rubber is used for covering electrical wiring? So especially if you look at your electrical conductor, the cover is made out of rubber. And why is that? As we see right here, one of the properties of rubber is that it's a non-conductor of electricity. That is H. Okay, so this is how we're going to round up our first session for this particular edition. We are going to continue with more editions, and if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. If you have any difficulties, I am always here to help you through. All right, until next time, I'll see you.